Most people believe magnets can pull anything metallic out of water: coins, hooks, tools, even lost treasure. It sounds simple, right? Drop a strong magnet into a river or lake, and it will grab whatever metal is hiding below. But there's one metal that breaks this idea: gold. Real gold doesn't behave like iron or steel. It doesn't rush toward magnets. In fact, it does something far more confusing. It does nothing at all. And that's exactly why this test is so interesting, because what you expect never happens. So we decided to put this to the test in the most realistic way possible. No tricks, no edits, no fake setups. Just a powerful neodymium magnet and real gold. The kind that can snap onto metal instantly, and a piece of gold underwater. The goal was simple: bring the magnet closer and see if anything changes at all. Even a tiny movement, even the slightest reaction should be noticeable clearly. Because if there's even a small pull, you should be able to notice it easily. Water makes everything slower, more visible, and much easier to observe closely. That's exactly why this test matters so much in a real environment. As the magnet slowly moved closer, something strange started to happen, but not with the gold itself. The water began reacting instead. Tiny ripples formed. Small currents shifted around the magnet's position. It almost looked like the gold was about to move towards something invisible, like something unseen was pulling on it from beneath the surface. And this is exactly where most people get fooled during this test. Because visually, it feels like something is happening in that moment. Your brain connects the water movement with the gold, even though it hasn't moved. We brought the magnet even closer, just inches away from the gold. At this distance, any magnetic metal would react instantly without delay. Iron would snap, steel would shift. Even tiny particles would move quickly, but the gold, it stayed completely still without any reaction whatsoever. No twitch, no slide, no response. It was like the magnet didn't exist. And that moment is where the myth completely breaks apart. Because if gold were even slightly magnetic, you would see something happening. Even the smallest response would be clearly visible in water conditions, but there was absolutely nothing, no interaction, no effect at all. To confirm this wasn't random, we repeated the test again and again. Different angles, different speeds, and even different pieces placed nearby carefully. Every time, the exact same result appeared without any change. The magnet moved, the water reacted, but the gold remained untouched. And that's when it becomes clear: perception and reality are completely different here. What people think they see is not what's actually happening in real life. But here's where it gets even more interesting during this observation. When you watch this underwater test, your eyes can easily mislead you. The magnet disturbs the water, creating subtle motion around its entire position. That motion can shift nearby objects slightly if they are light or loose. And when that happens near gold, it looks like the magnet is pulling it. Even though it's not actually happening in reality at all, it's just the environment reacting to the magnet, not the metal itself. And this is exactly why so many people believe this myth exists. Because on the surface, it looks real and feels completely convincing. But when you slow everything down and remove the illusion carefully, you realize something. The magnet isn't interacting with the gold at all in any way. It's only interacting with the world around it, not the gold itself. Now, here's the part most people never hear, the real reason behind all of this. Gold is what scientists call a non-magnetic metal. That means it doesn't respond to magnetic fields the way metals like iron do. There's no hidden pull, no weak attraction, nothing waiting to be triggered. So when you bring even the strongest magnet close to pure gold, it simply ignores it completely. And that's not a limitation of the magnet. It's just the nature of gold itself. But then a question comes up: if gold isn't magnetic, why do some people claim they've seen magnets pull gold? The answer is actually much simpler than it sounds in reality. Most of the time, what people think is gold isn't pure gold at all. Jewelry, rings, chains, they're often mixed with other metals to make them stronger or cheaper. And some of those metals can be slightly magnetic in nature. So when a magnet pulls an object, it's not pulling the gold, it's pulling other metals inside it. The gold just comes along for the ride without reacting at all. There's another reason people get confused, especially during underwater tests like this. When you move a strong magnet through water, it doesn't just sit there quietly. It creates small but noticeable currents, tiny shifts that push and pull the water around it. These currents can move nearby objects just enough to make it look like they're being attracted. And when that object happens to be gold, it creates the perfect illusion. Your eyes see movement, your brain assumes magnetism, but in reality, it's just water doing what it always does. To really prove this, we tried something slightly different during the experiment. We placed other metals next to the gold, small pieces of iron and steel nearby. Then repeated the exact same test under the same conditions again. This time, the difference was instant and clearly visible. The moment the magnet came close, those metals snapped toward it without hesitation. No delay, no subtle movement, just a direct, aggressive pull toward the magnet. And right beside them, the gold stayed exactly where it was without reacting. That contrast tells you everything you need to understand about this situation. Same environment, same magnet. Completely different behavior from each material. But here's where this experiment becomes even more interesting to observe closely. Even though magnets can't directly attract gold, they can still be incredibly useful when searching for it. Think about it. In rivers, lakes, or muddy areas, gold is often surrounded by other materials. Nails, metal fragments, tools, debris, all mixed together in the same environment. A strong magnet can pull all of that out of the way, clearing the area, making it easier to spot what actually matters underneath everything else. In a way, the magnet becomes a filter, not a collector in this process. And that changes how you look at the whole idea completely. It's not about the magnet pulling gold. It's about understanding how different materials behave. Once you know that gold won't react, you stop wasting time expecting it to. Instead, you start using that knowledge to your advantage in real situations. You remove what can be pulled, and what's left behind might be valuable. So the next time someone says a magnet can attract gold underwater, you'll know exactly what's really happening. It's not magic. It's not hidden power. It's just physics, simple and predictable, and often misunderstood by people observing it for the first time. And sometimes the most surprising part isn't what moves, it's what doesn't.